Michelle Smallman, Chris Canty, Evan Cohen with you. Ryan Clark popping in.
Hey!
Let's start with the obvious place, CeCe's wallet. We've all been observing this. This has been a big theme on the show. Go ahead, fire away.
One, though, he's such a large man. If he had a small wallet, I'd be nervous.
Yeah, okay.
Right? Because, like, if he just walked around one of those billfolds, it'd be weird.
Okay.
And the other part is, like, when you got a lot of money, you need a big wallet.
Stop. I don't even carry cash like that.
Yes, you do.
That was cash
he
that
has
you
a
gave
person
me
in
from
there,
a long time ago. And the reason why it's still in there, it shows you I don't spend cash.
Also,
Give it to me. I can spend it.
No.
Now, Chris, for somebody to have a MasterCard, a Visa, American Express, a Discover, you got to have all those in there for it to get that fast.
You think it's a lot of credit cards. What it really is insurance cards, is PBA cards for when I get pulled over. It's all of the cards that you got to show. TSA when you go to the airport. I didn't know you had to show so many different forms of identification when you got to the airport. Passport, driver's license, global entry card. You got to show 3 or 4 pieces of ID just to get on the damn plane. That's all of that stuff in my wallet.
Still a lot of cash, though.
Can you just hold it up so the camera could see it, by the way, for those on ESPN too?
I
mean, it's become a huge thing. It's bigger than
It looks like a sunglasses case.
George Costanza wallet.
Yeah, his wallet like an Egg McMuffin. Like, for sure.
RC, the news yesterday, Joe Flacco named starting quarterback for the Browns. That was obvious. The less obvious thing is what happens after that. Your reaction to all of it?
Yeah, I think the first thing to me, it shouldn't have been obvious, though. Like we know who Joe Flacco is, right? Joe Flacco was a guy that was working to see if he was going to start his TV career 2 years ago. And yes, he has a great finish in 2023. He goes to Indianapolis. He's not able to really take the starting job there from Anthony Richardson. And now that he's back, you're making the comfortable decision, right? This is like when people spin the block in a relationship. You know what I mean? It's like you had a girl and she was good, or you had a guy and he was good, but you was like, I'm kind of getting over this. You went out in them streets and them streets wasn't hot for you, so now you go back to the old thing. That's what they've done. Instead of looking at Dylan Gabriel and looking at Shedeur Sanders and saying, can one of these young men be our franchise quarterback of the future, knowing that we have 2 first-round picks in 2026? Make sure you know what's in your building before you have to go scout and evaluate those next crop or that next crop of quarterbacks. And so for me, they took the easy way out. But Adam Schefter said it yesterday, right? When we look at the depth chart, who's listed as number 2 is now what's important. Is that Kenny Pickett, and you're going to say, okay, now we're going to play the 2 older guys, or are you going to be getting either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders ready to play, like Chris said in the break, because you don't expect Joe Flacco to be your starter for 17 weeks.
RC, switching gears, we saw Matt Stafford for the first time this preseason at practice. He's been dealing with the back injury. Do the Rams already have buyer's remorse for bringing back Matt Stafford?
You know what? I was there during training camp, and it was earlier in training camp, and it wasn't like a huge sense of urgency, right? They felt like the back flared up. It was going to be a pain management thing, and then he'd be ready for the season. Even listening to Sean McVay talk about the practice yesterday, he said we're going to go day by day and week by week. And I don't like that. You know, I was talking about it with Dan, right? He was talking about how tough Matthew Stafford was and how he's played through so many things, whether it be in Detroit or Los Angeles. Toughness doesn't have an expiration date. Your ability to recover does. Right? And so when you play Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson in week 1 and you under that heat and you that physicality, what's week 2 going to look like? And what's week 3 going to look like? And this is a team that was a drive away from hosting the NFC Championship. So we understand they have championship level aspirations, and that only happens if Matthew Stafford is the quarterback. And so I don't know if it's buyer's remorse, Canty, as much as you have to be thinking to yourself, what level of Matthew Stafford will we be getting, and is that enough to compete with the Eagles, the Detroit Lions, and some of the top tier teams in the NFC?
Ryan, if Matthew Stafford is compromised, who does that open the door for in the NFC West?
I don't know. Like, to be honest, I think we're sleeping on San Francisco. I think San Francisco when you look at what happened to them last year, some of the injuries, some of the things that they dealt with, this is a team that kind of fell off our map as a contender. But what happens is when you're really bad the season before, you get to play the last place schedule. And now Brock Purdy is secured going forward. You are healthier on offense. You're going to wait to probably like week 6, they said, so Brandon Ayuk can be back. But if Kyle Shanahan can keep this team together, if they can be healthy throughout most of this season, I think they have the easier schedule. And also too though, like, experience in winning, it becomes a habit, right? This is the team that understands how to win. This is the team that believes last year was the anomaly, right? That the stuff that they did before that wasn't the fake stuff. That's truly who the San Francisco 49ers are. And so I believe it opens the door for them, because we still don't know what the Arizona Cardinals are going to be under Jonathan Gannon this year. We don't know if Sam Darnold with Minnesota was a fluke, right? Mike McDonald, I think, is a genius defensively, and I believe they'll be really good on the defensive side of the football. But who do they become offensively? And so I think San Francisco is the team I'd have the most confidence in based on what I've seen them do.
We're talking with Ryan Clark, of course, ESPN NFL analyst. Get up, First Take. You'll see him today. You just led me into something. I would take the over on games played and snaps played for Jalen Milroe and Stetson Bennett this year. Seattle and LA respectively. Not that I don't think the starters.
So you think Stetson plays more than Jimmy G?
I think if Stafford gets hurt in game, Jimmy G plays. If he's out for a while, why not give Stetson Bennett a chance?
Why give Stetson Bennett a chance?
Okay, I'll tell you what. It's a very fair, and I'm not suggesting he's a Hall of Famer by any stretch of imagination. If you have 2 first-round picks next year like they do, same situation as Cleveland, if somehow, some way you find needle in the haystack and you have a mid-round quarterback on that dollar figure with 2 first-round picks that could be your franchise quarterback, you've hit the lottery. I would just give him a game or two.
I think, but I think Cleveland and the Rams are in different positions. The Rams aren't in a position to just be trying to see if Stetson Bennett can play. The Rams are in position that Jimmy G, for whatever it's worth, however you feel about it, has started in a Super Bowl. Oh, he has been to multiple NFC championships. And you have Devontae Adams, who is an upgrade over where Cooper Kupp was last year. Puka Nacua is a star. Kyron Williams just signed an extension. You feel like you have a good team, right? And so defensively, you have one of the best fronts in all of football. I don't think Sean McVay is going to be in a spot where he's like, let's see if Stetson Bennett can go from walk-on to Pro Bowl quarterback.
Yeah.
Like that.
I'm going to call the Falcons and see what's up with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this
you
is
up?
Yeah. What about Milroe? I liked him so much at I loved his resiliency at Alabama. I loved the fact that he didn't run away from anything. Maybe it's just that I'm rooting for him and I want him to be great.
I think you're rooting for him. I think you're putting him through more adversity than he had outside of not playing as well as he should have.
Okay, that's fair.
Right. I think, you go back to that Georgia game, and I heard you talking about Ryan Williams, who is like crazy. We don't speak about this dude more. Yeah. He's an absolute stud. Ryan Williams goes crazy against Georgia, and we're sitting here thinking to ourselves, okay, Jalen Milroe might be a first-round draft pick. And then the season sort of tanks. You lose to Vanderbilt.